Hello, Internet. This is LordMaddog, and I'm coming at you today with another SOULSLIKE project tutorial. And today we're going to be talking about adding a new base build item. Base build items are things like the walls, the foundations, the plants, or the base chest, or the base crafter. These ones are far more in depth than the others because it's the actual base of something. So, like once you have the base wall set up, you can just then change the model of the wall and you'll be fine because you just make a child of the wall and then you can set it up that way. That's just like I did with the last episode. We basically had a base crafter and I set up a child of it and fixed that. And also I fixed the problem with the last one. I just had forgotten to put the craft type. I just had to hook this up. I didn't hook that up. So let's jump right on in. Let's first talk about the base types. So the base types are the things that they'll snap to, or basically what items will snap to. So like a plant type will snap to a specific point on a ground, which is actually a floor. In this case, which would be the dirt, which I have set up. I have set up the dirt and base plant will snap to that. Decos don't snap to anything, but ramps snap to the sides and they'll snap down so they'll be in the right place when according to where you need to build them. Same thing with roof, floors, foundation, doors, walls, windows, and whatnot. So when we're talking about building a new base thing, we're talking about setting up so objects snap to it correctly, not the coding or anything like that, because all the coding is done. But if you want to do like a specific type of build item, I don't know, other than like a crafter or something that does itself, you'll have to do that all in the crafting in the blueprints yourself. This is talking about snapping. So let's jump right in here. So snapping items will always need a box to, when you're hovering over it to select it, we'll need a box. And once you hover over that box, it'll transmit data from that box that you're hitting back to the one you're building. So in this case, I have a south. That's a south box right here. Yes, that's the south box I just selected. It's this little. It's kind of hard to see. Hopefully with YouTube compression, it's not too bad. Here, I'll select it in the thing there, south box. So once you hover over that, you will use the snapping script to tell which items and where they snap at, and then you have to place them where they're going to snap. So in this case right here, this is where a floor would snap. But let's say you had a triangle foundation or a ramp. Let's see, so it's a floor. Let's see if we can find the ramp one right here. Just ramp. If I were to add a static mesh to it, and then I'll come over here and add a ramp, you will see it'll be right in the location because I've already, it should be in the right location. Yes, here, yeah, that's right. It's just there we are. See, it is now in the right location because once it's printed, it'll have no transform. It's inheriting transform. But see, that's what we're trying to do here, is try to make sure each one of these scene components line up with where they should be snapping to. So in this case, the south ramp needs to be right there it's at, so it'll look good when it snaps into location. So we're going to delete the static mesh. I've already gone and set up all 6 of this hexagonal plate because this is the new one we're building. It's a hexagonal plate. So instead of having 6 triangle foundation, you just have 1 triangle floor. I mean, 6 triangle floors, you just have 1 triangle floor. And I may end up having a foundation version of this as well. But basically, I wanted to do something to show you guys how it works. So I have already set up 5 out of the 6, and we're going to go ahead and set up the 6th one. And that's going to be our north. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to come up here to the top of our default scene. We're going to add north. We're going to add a scene component, and we're going to call it north scene component, north scene. And then we're going to copy all of the south ones. We need the ramp, we need the box, we need the wall, we need the triangle foundation, the triangle foundation floor, the south floor lock, and the triangle floor location. We're going to copy that. Now, sometimes when you copy and paste, they will lose their names. They're supposed to have an extra 1 on the end, but sometimes they will lose their names, and that can be a very big pain to figure out exactly which is it, but it's just something you have to deal with. Sometimes there's just bugs like that, and you have to deal with them. So we're going to come up to my north scene component. We're going to paste, and then we're going to drag that into my north scene component. Boom. And now we're going to have to find that north scene component because everything else will automatically open up. So we now have this here. Now I could move each one of these items to where they're going to need to go. Like so, needs to come over here, I think at 545, or 445, like that. Oh, well, minus 445. The floor is that wouldn't. Oh, that's a triangle floor. So I could do that. Or I can be a little bit smarter about this and take my north scene component because it's the master of my north. Stupid things keep popping up, even though I close them. Here we are. And I can just rotate everything 180 degrees, which works perfectly. 180. Here we go. As you see there. Now, that means that all the other ones are basically in the right location as well. So my triangle foundation, if I were to bring in a triangle foundation, or we'll just stick with the ramp, we'll add right here, we'll add a static mesh. When this, make sure that the static mesh itself didn't get any transform. I don't know what I did that last time. Ramp, fancy ramp, and there. You can see the ramp is in the right location where it should be. And that's good. Now, the only thing we have to do is change the names, and we're going to make sure we change the names properly, because if we don't change the names properly, we'll get confused when we're trying to do the snapping part. So I'll quickly do that. I closed them all, and they open all the way back up again. North scene component here. So we're going to name this one North. Oops, not North. Make sure I copy that so I can paste it in the rest of them, and remove the 1 off of it. Oop. Come on. Don't be doing that to me. All right. The floor, this is scene component. I have no idea what it was, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes that'll happen, and it's annoying. All right. So I'll have to figure out what that should be. It'll take me a few seconds. I'll probably do that off scene because it'll take me a little bit to actually figure it out. North. There we are. Yeah. Okay. Remove the 1. And remove the 1 and call it what I just do. Hit the wrong button. Remove the 1. Slide all the way to the south. And basically you get the gist of it. So just to make sure you understand how this works, this little box, when you hover over it, as I've said already, when you're building in it, you'll hover over it, and then it'll send the information of where the locations, if it should be snapping to. So you want to have all these little scene components where they should be snapping to. I think that's actually the floor one there. Yep, that's the floor. But I'll have to figure each one of them out, making sure that's absolutely right when I'm done. So we don't need any of these in here now that we have basically made sure that they're all in the right location. These are just my testing to make sure things in the right location. All right, we're going to come over to the snap. As you see here, the south one was already done. I did that off screen so we can have an example. So my south foundation scene component floor is connected to my foundation. My wall is fine for my wall and my triangle floor, because the wall and triangle floor are going to have the same stats. Oh wait, no, it's not that. This one doesn't connect to the triangle floor. It's which one does this connect to? The roof. Okay, the wall and the roof are going to be the same place. Okay. And each one of that. So let's go ahead and do the southwest version of this. So we need to find our southwest box. Where's southwest box? Where are you at? There's the northeast. Well, let's go ahead and do north. Now let's find southeast. Well, southeast, that'll be fine. We'll do southwest east box right here. We need to have, this is the box on here. This is the one to beside that. Grab that We'll drag our southeast box. We're connected to this. This is the make snap lock, and this will come on up to here to this array. You can always add little more pins to these if you have, like I need to have 6, so I'll have 6 of these set up. So now that I have all my southeast, I'm working in southeast, I need to drag all my southeast locations into this setup. So here, we don't need the southeast box, we already got that. So south triangle floor, southeast triangle floor, so we're gonna move these things up. There we go. We're going to move these things out of the way. Here we go. South triangle floor. There we are. That's right. Where's our actual floor? Here we go. We're going to connect you to the floor and the roof, I believe. Was that how I had that set up or not? Let me make sure. South wall and the roof. Huh. Why is, okay, because the window and door are not in the same location on this one for some reason. That's fine. The foundation lock. So this will make sure the foundation snaps to the location. If you get this, oh, I have that's where I was wrong here. This is floor lock. This is one, nope. It's, I did that wrong. Foundation wall. I need a wall. My bad. It's the wall that snaps to the roof, I think. Yeah, yep, that is the wall that snaps to the roof. You got to make sure you get these in the right places. It won't snap. So after you do it, you got to make sure you test it, make sure everything's snapping to the right location. And if you get them a little bit out of, even if you get them like 1 point out and you start building an entire build on it and you have that just 1 unit wrong, you're going to have the rest of your builds are all going to be built off of that. So they're going to be snapping in the wrong location too. So you got to be very careful. It can take a decent amount of time to do it. So this is my triangle foundation. This is my wall lock. I have an extra one of that already for some reason. My ramp. Where's the ramp at? Well, down here. And there we now have our southeast box set up. So if I were to hover over this southeast location on this box, it would snap any item that is according to that. Let's say if I'm holding a foundation, it would snap the foundation in the right place. If I'm holding a window, it's not going to do a dang thing because I don't have a window set up for this. Okay. And you don't want to have a window set up for this. Now I would have to do all the rest off scene. It will take me a good 20 minutes to do that off scene, and I don't want to do that on scene. Now that said, let's go talk about the things over here in the corner. Most of these things are going to be just not messed with, but the extension, this is when, this is not a foundation, so this is not going to have an irrelevance. But if this was a foundation, it would automatically extend the foundation down into the ground with the wood extension, or there's also the stone extension. Okay, so it suits a line. It looks if there's a gap between the floor and its location, and it'll suit, if it has to, it'll add an extension. That works only on foundations though. Okay, I don't think we need to mess with any of these right now. Nope, these are all not here. These are adjustable defaults. This is what this one's going to cost. This is what you want to do. So this is going to cost 6 wood, and then we want to change the health. So for each wood, 25 health. So it'd be. Okay, I'm having a brain fart here. 25, 5, 6. Oh my gosh, who cares? I'm gonna mess with that right now. That's off. Total brain fart. Manually placed. This is when you build the item on the ground. So it will, if you want it to spawn in the world, it'll be manually placed beforehand. Now there is no save and loading for a manually placed object in the world. Anytime you load or save the game, that'll automatically be completely totally made whole, and it'll be right where it was at. So it's basically something for like mining, or a wall that you want to be there. Now I've been thinking about how to save and load manually placed objects, but I have no setup set up for that at the moment. Okay, build up right. This does not do anything. Okay, but weight bearing does. That means if this thing gets broke, like if I damage a piece of this floor, then the piece of the floor will send up damage up above. It'll send a little bit of damage up above it. So if you have the whole floor gets destroyed, it'll destroy things straight above it. Okay, edit copyable. This is basically so when you can place manually in the world, and then you can use this little. You'll click on it and click that, hit that, and then you can click on this thing here, and you're able to save all the ones you currently did, and then you'll be able to actually build them in the world. Just go details by hit place save build items. So any item that you build, so let's say I were to build in the world a floor, and then I would hit F8 and select on that and make it placed. Or there's actually a hotkey I have set that it's not actually being used right now, but you can select it manually when you're doing it if you want to, and you set editor copyable, and you're going to copy it using this thing, save build items, and then once you exit the playing field and come back into the editor, you can hit place save build items, and that will place any items that you built. That's how I built this entire area through here. I built it in game, and then I just saved it and then placed it in the editor that way. Okay, it's a nice little thing if you're want to build out your world completely through this and you don't want to have to manually place it, and it's easy. It's actually a lot easier to place them in game. Okay, save soft chaos mesh. This is was meant to be so that the mesh player will be able to walk through it and it wouldn't interfere with the character. It did not turn out that well. I mean, you could try it out, but it doesn't work as well as I was hoping. Chance of respawning used resources. This is used according to each item. What item, when you destroy it, the chances of getting back the quality of items. So if this thing takes 6 pieces of wood, 50% chance of my getting back wood is broken. And if this is not a spawner, you don't want to be, unless it actually is used as an epic or a rare, you don't want to be having this have a chance of giving one of those back. So unless it's actually using a legendary, you don't want to have a chance of it giving back a legendary. So if you do that, then it automatically becomes like, like a mine, like a place where you're gathering items. So that said, damage repair, this is not done inside. This is done all through Blueprint. And I think that is actually everything we need to talk about, except for what I showed you last time. Now this here is just a base mesh, so all I have is the actual I don't actually have a destructible setup for it. All I have is one piece of destructible and one piece of foundation here, because this is just the base mesh. Now will be the base for the hexagonal floor. When I actually go to make a fancy hexagonal floor, I would be putting all the pieces into it. But this is the add mesh right here, and you'd be adding the mesh right in there. And I do believe that's pretty much everything when it comes to making a new base build item. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions about this, I know it's a bit complicated. It is a very versatile system, and I am very pleased with how it turned out, but it can be a little bit complicated due to the way it works. So any questions, if you try it out yourself, you can't figure it out, just go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I might even completely redo this tutorial to make it easier on you if I miss something. LordMaddog, signing off.